Welcome back to The Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything between in the wide world of Warhammer. I'm joined today, of course, by the man who the episode is named after, Tyler Russo.
Hello, it's me. I'm Tyler Russo. The episode's named after me. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. It's been good having you.
Yeah, thanks. It's been good being had. Yeah.
If you're not familiar, Tyler runs a YouTube channel, $1 Billion Clown Farm, which we're going to ask about later. It's awesome. Definitely go check it out. We have the link down below. Tyler does, you do a lot of things on the channel. You talk about whatever you want, basically.
Yeah. What do I do? That's a great question.
What do you do?
You probably know more
than
me. I've forgotten more than I know now. So, yeah, it's like a lot of hobby stuff. It started as a painting channel. But I obsessively play this game. It's a huge problem that hinders my personal life. And I got really into doing tournament reports and covering meta stuff too. I only play orks because there's also a curse in my life. Yeah. Which is, it's great, but it's So sometimes it's their place in the meta fluctuates a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So just trying to make them work with what I feel is best at any given moment. Sometimes easier than others is a big part of it too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what kinds of Warhammer orc adjacent content.
Yeah, painting, battle reports.
There's metal songs. We make songs about orcs.
Yeah. And the Emperor too.
And the Emperor.
You know,
yeah.
All things 40k.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. That's an answer, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. I think
food
it's amazing.
reviews. Yeah.
You know, we had met a few times at events, and we're all like, oh, we need to do more. We need to have you up. You're close-ish. You know, we're not doxing people.
No, it's I don't care.
We're up in NorCal. You're in SoCal.
Yeah, I'm in LA. It's fine. I'll read my address on chat.
Yeah, there we go.
Please take more because I have too many in my home. Well, you guys are real grinders, which I respect a lot.
Yeah.
Because I've just seen you organically at events.
Right.
On other channels, so I won't.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's important to us. That's what we started with. We're we also have a problem. We're addicted to this game. And so we'll go out to events and we'll play and then we'll meet everyone.
And for me, I think there's a lot of good things about the edition, but there's definitely a lot of problems I have with 10.
Oh my god.
And I feel like I can't complain about it unless I'm playing and doing well. So I've definitely been in that headspace recently too.
So you want to
I can't. I feel like it's not fair for me to complain unless I beat someone, and then I'm here's what's wrong, regardless of if you like this edition.
I love that dedication.
Just
to
not
complaining.
It's a neuroses, but
it's true. I think,
it just feels it's annoying if someone's just complaining about something and can't actually prove their merit in it, or have valid reasons from experience that they can provide.
Yeah, what are your credentials? You know? That's the thing, and
so.
You know, the internet is a vast and dark place, and there's many people who have many strong opinions about a game that they have frankly never played or played once. But it's good.
Some of those people have big platforms,
exactly.
In Warhammer and elsewhere.
Exactly. It's
especially elsewhere. Yeah.
So look, there's a lot of things I want to ask you.
Sure.
This is not an interview per se. I just this is the first time I actually have you on the channel and we can talk about things.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Warhammer, we'll talk about, hobbies, we'll talk about 10th edition, orcs, painting, all that stuff. So
it's just fun to be here. I figured we would do this anyways with an audience or without.
We almost had to not talk about stuff because we wanted to make sure there's a camera rolling. If you have questions for Tyler or for us, I suppose, you can super chat $10 or more. We'll ask him. It's great to see everyone in chat joining us. If you didn't check the game earlier, it was orcs versus orcs. So hopefully you like orcs. If not, well, check it out. It's
if
cool.
you're an executive from Starbucks who we're just gotten to that we're trying to get a sponsorship, then we'll buy a second coffee and drink that.
Tyler's really trying to make.
Otherwise, there's 3 sips left, and that's all you're getting. And my cup will be done and sit over there discarded.
Sounds about right.
Clock is ticking. Yeah.
So let's kick it off. I want to talk about your models and your style first. We just played with some. As Mel just showed off, we do have the glam cam here today. I want to talk about what's that?
That was in studio mode.
Oh, okay. Let's show. We got a little glam cam here because we saw some clips that I had to do very quickly before the stream, and it wasn't Lindsay, so I apologize to everyone here. But we have them here. I want to you have a very distinctive style.
Thanks.
Your models, they're like the joke is they put the goth back in goth.
Yeah, he's actually funny because he's the opposite of.
He's one of the only
he's the brightest model.
Let me grab some.
But yeah, because I love second edition Old Hammer kind of stuff. Just, I've got these books too.
Oh yes.
This is my codex I brought. This is the only codex I bring to events. It's the most relevant
so
one.
Amazing.
Yeah, because this reminds me that Warhammer is a goofy thing. I shouldn't take that seriously. It's just sometimes hard to forget when you're in tournament mode, and that's why I bring these, because it's I feel like this is what it's about at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Goofy guys that like to have fun and lore and a cool universe that I care about a lot. So
You kind of said it yourself in the way that like your channel was a painting channel first and foremost. And, and you've like adapted because you have all these other things that you're also interested in, but like at the core, it's like you're kind of I think we have a lot of similar ideologies.
I think so.
Like we love the reason we play Warhammer is for the stories and fun games and modeling and painting.
Initially, at least.
Yeah, but we also have
but sometimes
we're terribly overly competitive people at the same time.
And
it's kind of fun to like see those worlds like balance and like clash.
Pretty hard to I do feel like they are like inherently opposed.
They are.
And it's like a big struggle, I think, for the game as a whole on a cultural level. That,
exactly.
Yeah.
Which
pretty rampant.
I think.
And gaming in general, I think, with time. Like, I feel like just games have gotten more competitive culturally.
Yes.
People have gotten much better at them. So, yeah, it's a factor in Warhammer, but it's a factor in like any game that has people competing.
And people want to spend more time with it. Yeah. And I'm probably the worst person to talk about it because I literally do this professionally.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think like there's this danger of I don't want to say over professionalizing, but like we forget that this is a hobby, and for the majority of people, it's like they spend a little time on it and things like that. And it's like it's okay to play badly, it's okay to paint badly and things like that because we have the internet, we see all these amazing painters, and it's like, oh my god, like I could never do that. And it's like no, it's okay. Like you don't have to be like a pro amazing player. Like if you love that the way that we do, that's cool. But you don't have to be that. And it's the last few years especially, it's I feel like really hit its peak.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
I definitely live in a bubble too. Or I feel like most people also have like 40k brain rot that I know, and I just spend time with them. So it's like a very like small echo chamber I'm usually exposed to.
Right.
Yeah, it is crazy like just going to like a local games workshop and just being like, oh yeah, this is
this is how it is for most people. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like honestly really refreshing whenever I go. And then someone's just like, oh yeah, like Stompas are like the best unit right now. Like they're insane. Might just like killed a land raider.
Yeah,
like,
you're like,
hell yeah, brother. Like never leave this bubble. This is you're so pure. This is like the perfect spot. Please don't step outside. Yeah.
I think that's how Bridger's like that about like Marvel and a lot of like those games where like he likes them. Because he doesn't know all the like how to play it well and all that stuff, and he's kind of trying to keep that a little bit.
Yeah, knowledge is for sure a burden. Yeah. In general, but in Warhammer definitely too. Yeah.
So in that regard, like you play orc, you play orcs, you pretty much entirely focus on orcs. Like how does that play into this? Like you're trying to be competitive all the time, but you also are an amazing hobbyist, and your army looks beautiful. Like,
thanks.
How is balancing all those factors?
For me, it's very easy because I've tried very hard to be like the most try hard competitive player before. I've like chased the meta. I've like 3D printed something and had it ready to go for an event in like a week. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why am I doing this? Like one event, like 3-0 RTT, don't go to the major and change my list to the orcs like by the time it's like, like ready for that. I just like don't get that much out of playing other armies. That's like honestly it. I wish I had like more, I don't know, like an answer that would help other people who are like struggling with that potentially. But yeah, I just like them.
I'm jealous of the opposite problem.
Yeah,
so I'm very jealous that you're able to just
I don't know. I think a big component was I really liked the ITC leaderboard too, which was nice because if you're not trying to win the event because of like where your army is in the meta or whatever, you can compete for that. I will say it's gotten harder, I think, this season. The site like interface changed and is like really like weird and doesn't work as well. Yeah. Which is kind of nice for me because when I saw that, I'm like, well, I'm less invested in this. Something about like the bad UI makes me not care about the ITC best faction leaderboard as much. Right. So I can focus on hobbying more. But that was like a big factor too. It's like I liked playing orcs because I liked trying to climb the leaderboard and they're just like more interesting to me as a faction than any other army, and I like painting them. And
I think also climbing the leaderboard is a good way of putting it because I think for me one of the things I've struggled with in the past is this concept of like best in faction, which is like a really difficult and dangerous dream. It feels like you spend the whole year and then first of all, something crazy could happen with your book. It could become crazy powerful or underpowered, and you could just get blown off of it at the last minute. Then your whole year's for what? But you think about it in terms of like, can you make like top 10 or can you like move up it rather than being like, can I be the very, very best like no one ever was?
Yeah, if you do it long enough, you just sort of meet most of the people who are also doing the same thing as you, and that's like nice too, and there's like camaraderie in that. Like I've met most of the people who are like around like the top like orc player and the leaderboard.
It's community.
I mean, a lot of them are like based in like Europe or whatever, so I don't know them like personally. We've like spoken a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean most of them that like go to like all the U.S. majors I've like met at this point. So,
Right.
Or I think like all of them.
It is a
yeah.
small
It's like
world.
not that many people.
Yeah, we were just talking about
I mean,
that
top
earlier.
10 is only 10 people too, and like
that's like how it works.
Yeah, I mean, like to your point too. Like I've been doing this as like basically a second full-time job for like 5 years, and the best I've finished in a season is like third. So
Right.
I feel like it is like
It's so
just like
difficult.
luck a lot of the time too. I mean, Warhammer is like a game where luck plays in a lot of factors. Like it's a dice game, but like matchups in majors is like super important.
Yeah.
You have no control over that. Yeah.
People don't acknowledge that enough. It's like,
Yeah.
I always want to be careful. Like, we talk about win path, and win path matters. That is not to take away from people who do well at events, but like I have benefited from it 100%. Like, hopefully I don't go against this army, or I hope I go against this army that's normally good in the meta.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a huge part of the game.
There's not enough
that I wish
variance.
was different,
There's
but
too
it's
much
like so
variance.
true. And I mean, I've seen like tons of people that have won a major go back the next year and go like 3-3. It just happens.
Yeah,
They didn't
exactly.
suddenly get like really bad at Warhammer. It's just like bad matchups. They're playing an army which isn't as good as it used to be in the meta or something, but they want to stick with it because they like it.
Yeah.
Or it could just be like they could be taking like the best thing and still just like go 3-3 because that happens.
And I think making
especially
it
in
super
10th,
important.
It's like,
Oh my gosh, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I think everyone's having a bit of a crisis with 10th of like determining what their goals are.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to perform well? Do I want to play this faction? Like, everything's kind of up in
It'll
the air.
get better, but
But it's important because I've been through the same thing where you're just like, yeah, like I know I can do really well, and then you're like, is this what I want?
Yeah.
And I always have this push and pull of like, okay, I'll just take like this faction that I love, and then I'm like, I really wanted to compete like with my friends at the top tables, and then I'll try to do
Right.
that, and I'm like, and you're kind of like, you're kind of never happy, but
Yeah.
you're like figuring out like what is the sweet spot for you, and I encourage people to like ask yourself that question,
Yeah.
because that's when you're really gonna get the most out of it.
I think,
like when you know that.
For me, I also got to a point where like just trying to compete and be the best was like diminishing returns on fun to the point where it definitely became like not fun.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, why am I doing this?
Right,
Like,
yeah,
it's like-
exactly.
Like, I'm not the art of war. I don't like financially depend.
Right,
Like, It's
yeah.
just like this is just for me.
You gotta find out what
Like,
works for you.
You spent like $500 to go to this town that you don't know anyone in. You go to the dive bar, you stay in the Days Inn. You watch UFC at the dive bar. You go to the tournament, and you're mad that you only went like 5-1 or 4-2
Right,
the next
yeah.
day. It's like what is the point of it?
Exactly.
It's like,
Exactly. And it's so important. You know?
It's like So I've been trying to like reassess that and like. Especially in 10th, like taking a like squig off and stompa has been really good fun.
Yes.
And to what you were saying about like Bridger earlier too, like I've only played one game with them and I won just like purely due to like strokes of luck. And I'm like, that's great. That's all I need to know. And I want to take them to Novo without playing any other games with them. Just to see
Yes.
how that goes. So I think it's like a more interesting exercise than like if I built the spreadsheet for like optimal squig off stompa
Right.
matchups and like just calculated win percentages for each one. That would like not be a great time.
No,
That
no.
kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Not at all.
Yeah, knowledge is a burden. as I
It
said
really
earlier.
is.
So it's like who knows, and like your opponent doesn't know how well they might know if they're just like they're gone turn one. They might know how good that
Yeah.
matchup is for them. They might
They're
not.
like, oh, good to
it's like a
know.
weird like I guarantee if they haven't fought that though.
Yeah.
Right? So
No,
it's
no,
like,
for sure.
it's just like fun, yeah. And then sometimes you take a memeless and then like your opponent's like, oh, that's so funny for like 5 minutes, and then they just sort of emotionlessly table you.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game, that just
Right.
like happens.
You're like,
But
oh.
I feel like as the memeless player, you have to accept that.
Yeah,
You know that
it's
going
gonna
in.
happen.
It's about you trying to have a good time, and eventually you will find someone probably who gets as much out of it as you. And yeah, so I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of ways to play this game. Tournaments don't have to be that serious.
I think that's something that a lot of people can learn more from
Yeah.
and like figure out, because it's gonna be different for everyone. There's so many cool models here. I'm like, I can't show them all. If people have any
Yeah,
requests
sure.
from
There's
the game. This guy's really tall, so we'll see how he shows up.
yeah, this is a big guy.
This is the best.
Modeled for maximum disadvantage. Worked a
Maximum
lot better in
disadvantage.
9th when towering didn't exist.
Oh my
A little
God,
more rough now. He's so
He's
big.
so tall.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh no.
He's my I use him as Mozarg right now. He's a beast boss on Squigosaur.
So good.
The squig is named Behemoth, and that's Captain Bathory on top.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all of like the like corpse paint looking guys have like metal names, and then the rest have
I
silly
see,
second
I
edition
see.
names. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so
Yeah.
sick.
Thanks.
And then the banners. Talk to us about the banners.
Yeah,
Let me
sure.
grab your latest one, I think,
Yeah.
without breaking it.
Yeah, they're all like pretty brand new, honestly. It's definitely the most like ambitious one out of the lot.
Yeah, this one is nuts.
Yeah, so that one it's like freehand watercolor on like watercolor paper.
Okay, which one's this?
I feel like banners used to be like a huge part of 40k culture, as evidenced by the entire like 2 or 3 page spread on banner lore. Never mind like how to make them.
The banner lore.
Yeah, in this book, and then I feel like it went away. And I mean, I like a lot of aspects of modern 40k, but there's like a quirky charm to the older editions that I feel like is lost. And banners are a way of like bringing that back for me. I mean, they're fun to paint too. I like how they look.
How do
it's
you
like
make
a
them?
big splash of color. So it's all different. This one is just watercolor and.
Oh, you said watercolor paper.
Yeah. And I just like varnish it after.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the sides I got to be that shape by burning them.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like poke holes with an X-Acto and like cut out like bolt holes and stuff. But just watercolor, really.
Amazing.
It's funny, yeah. It's funny having to stare at the back of it for this long. And
I really like the back,
front is
actually.
there. You like the
back?
back?
The back
Cool.
is like so graphic. It feels like.
Thanks. I wanted to do something interesting. So like
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate staring at it because that's what I'm looking at realistically most games. But I didn't want to like freehand another thing because that's hard. It takes a long
You should have
time.
just done the freehand on the back, honestly.
Yeah, I could. It's not too late to snap
you.
it off and reglue it.
Yeah.
On the right,
pole in
it's for
front of
you at the
Yeah.
bottom. Yeah, a little smiley face. Yeah.
So good.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, I have a video on making banners on my
Yeah.
channel. It's like the most recent one. If anyone wants to watch that.
This is like your the truck that you use in case someone has any questions about.
Yeah,
on
so
the
all my
site.
trucks are crazy different sizes, which is bad for competitive play.
Right.
My argument is there's like a lot of other problems with the game that cause issues more than like trucks that are like a half-inch bigger than each other. So I think like I've never had a judge like turn me down. I always ask beforehand.
Nah.
But yeah, that one I take to events just because that's like the actual truck kit minus the banners, but like the profile is the same.
I love
shape.
the banners. I love the checkers.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, because those are just printed with like Mod Podge on them. Because I was like, freehanding takes forever. I don't want to do a million checkers freehanded. That would not be fun.
Oh yeah, because you did these digitally.
Yeah.
That's
So I just
really
printed
cool.
them and put Mod Podge so they like are stiff. It's on like cardstock too. It's a normal paper because normal paper breaks all the time.
Right. So sick.
Yeah. So yeah, if like there's an instance where it's like, can the truck fit here? Can the truck move block X? How many
button
models
that.
can engage the truck? Then like I just swap out for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yep. Yeah.
I love it. Well, again, if anyone has requests for specific models, we can bust them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
If anyone wants me to read the entire banners and backplates section from
Yeah, like-
Valor, I will do so.
I'm very much
take
interested.
probably 45 minutes. But
So good.
I'll have a good time. Oh, there's even more pages than I thought. Oh my god, I
So
didn't even
wild.
see this one. This book's full of
So
secrets.
this is
There's
like a
6.
reprint of an old book.
Yeah, it's a
right?
reprint. I would give the link, but it's like done illegally. I don't know if he wants that. There's like a guy who like reprints. If you care and try hard enough, you'll find it.
So cool.
He like reprints like long out of print, like mostly obscure like Games Workshop publications. He doesn't make profit off of it either. He has it through like some site where it's just like it's like Redbubble. It's not, but it's like
Oh,
that
but it's like for books.
Yeah, yeah.
That's hilarious.
He just makes a $0 profit. He puts them up there so people can buy them, which is
it.
very
I
cool.
love all
It's
those
like clearly a
work things.
passion project. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and this is a Warg the Orks. It's like a pre-codex codex. It's what all codexes should be now, which is there's not a single
There's no
rule.
rule.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
lore.
art and fun writing and a lot of insane lore that was quickly forgotten after this book. I think that's a shame. I think this is like my favorite orc book. This one was I love the 3rd edition book too.
Yeah, this is
Because this is like when I
This is what
started.
with.
Yeah, like I've had this since I was like, I don't know, like 11 or something.
God.
Yeah, and I think it shows like
all
how
beat
like,
up.
beat up it is. Yeah, but yeah, this one like the lore is like so good, and
It's so
it's
good.
like very very funny and well written. Yeah, and like they look like Muppets too. Which
I
was
mean, that's the
thinking when
best
you
thing
said
about them.
earlier.
They 100% look like
yeah,
Muppets.
there's like this very
Orc, like,
very different art
Orc and
style.
Muppet synergy, extremely high.
Yeah,
Extremely
yeah,
high.
Yeah, I love them so
That's
much.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's see. I feel like was there anything else I wanted to ask you? No, I think that's.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
I was like, what was
Can
that
I
question?
ask the obvious, which is why is your channel $1 billion?
Oh, yes,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Why are you $1 billion clam
So
farm?
before it was a channel, it was a team name.
Yeah.
And the channel is just named after the team, which doesn't explain why it's called $1 Billion Clown Farm, but I will do that too. So $1 Billion Clown Farm was conceived with me and my friend Drew. It was just me, but he was on Discord and we were talking. I was on a work trip, working a job that was like kind of often miserable. Like the hours were like really insane, and I was traveling for it. So I was like in a hotel, and we were trying to come up with like names for a Warhammer team name after like like I hadn't slept that much, and I was just like in like a weird mood where I was just like, I gotta do something like fun. Let's just like come up with like crazy team names in this Google Doc, and then we just wrote down different words, and it was like it was so big. There was so many. There was like hundreds of names, and we just kept writing and writing for like hours, and then it was just like this mess of like different like nouns and like the same title like 5 different ways.
Right.
Yeah, it was like billion liter like ranch kegs was one. But it's like kept like through telephone. Like I would write one,
Right.
and he would write one based on that one.
Yep,
I would write one
yep.
based on that one. And just like this like massive list of names. We like could not decide because we had dug a giant hole for ourselves.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
like, 200 names, and then I like put it on Facebook because that was more of a social media platform at the time when this happened. And I was like, does anyone like? I can't think straight. Like, anyone have a favorite name on here? And a couple people said Billion Dollar Clown Farm, and then he was like, I think that's my favorite too. So we settled on that. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else to it. It was just a huge wordplay extrapolation that ended with that.
One of my favorite things to do when I was growing up in
Yeah.
like high school would be, we'd come up with fake band names and
Right.
things like that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like, people are
It's like that exact same kind of
yeah.
shows,
I love that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Oh man.
And now like we've done like team events
Yeah.
where we've had to have like multiple teams because it's like 5 people or 3
Oh,
people.
right.
Yeah, and then we just like go back to the doc and like you guys are like, just like find one at
Yes.
random. Yeah.
It's the codex.
So we have an infinite list of names unless we need like more than like 200 teams. but-
Expand over 200 teams.
Yeah,
I like it.
So
Well, there you go, Mel.
thanks for asking. Yeah, I would have forgotten too. We both did.
So I think the other question is like,
Yeah.
what is your background? Like, you obviously are very creative and pretty
Yeah.
weird. So,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, both those.
what do you like? What do you do normally, or what have you done in the past? be curious.
I went to school for animation, the Cal Arts, which was fine. It's expensive and fun,
Yeah,
and
that's like the art school out here.
is it? Yeah, probably. I don't know.
It's like the cool
some
one. That's
good
where Tim Burton
ones.
went.
Yeah, it's
cool.
It's true. Yeah. It's funny that you know that. It's like I never know like who knows anything. Like I didn't know what Cal Arts was until I showed up. And I was like, oh, cool. I literally went just because like I really liked music and I wanted to take music and art classes, and they were the only one that offered like both at like a level that was like good. And everything else was like specialized in one way or the other. Unless you go to like, I mean, there's like UCs that have good programs for both.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
like
they're
like
weird.
a art school where like that's
Yes.
all they have, and it's like equal music and like animation
exactly.
and film was like the only one that I found. So did that. I started getting into art because of Warhammer, and then I remember like someone called like Warhammer like not real painting or whatever. I was like, well, fine, I'll like learn how to paint, and I did that. I got like really good at drawing, and like came full circle. Started working in like film and animation, like illustrating, doing concept art and ZBrush. I used to sculpt models too. I worked for fantasy flight games for a bit. Done some like Cool Mini or Not board games too. And after like doing art school and like working in the field, I was I actually kind of just miss like Warhammer. So, it's like some more time, disposable income, and just went really, really hard on that and never went back. Or never looked back. I still work, to be clear, but
I decided not to work.
Yeah, right
anymore.
now I work at a small game company with a game called Kaiju Cards coming out, and then before that I was at Adult Swim as like a freelance director for a while.
So cool.
Like a million like little subcontract jobs. Like I was like Funny or Die for a little bit. I interned at The Onion in like 2014. So like a ton of stuff like that. You know, it's like not that it's a small world. So
right? Yeah, exactly. Do you like our cartoon intro?
yeah, I was sick. I want to see you with audio someday. it was cool seeing it on mute. Yeah, I made up sound effects in my head.
Yeah. I'm sure it was
interesting to see
exactly
how
right.
those play out. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it was background in film and stuff, which is where like making the channel came in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
right.
it was in COVID, and I was like, well, I can't really like play Warhammer anymore. So like, well, can I engage with this in some other way?
Oh my god!
That's that's really all it came from.
And that's where we started too. We're like, cool. We can only play with literally like our tiny bubble.
Right.
So let's put a camera in front of us, and we can try to like share that with other people.
Yeah.
And just live vicariously, because that's kind of what YouTube is for, anyways.
Right. Yep. Yeah, same thing. And it worked out great for both of us. Our channels grew to equal size.
If you haven't checked it out, go check out Billion Dollar Clown Farm. Like, subscribe. There's honestly.
Well, that's not. I feel like I definitely I never treated it as like a full time.
I'm gonna promote you. I don't care.
All right.
Honestly, it's really funny. Like you have such a like dry wit and humor, and it's just really, really funny and like well thought out too. And you'll do like, you'll talk about the state of the game or like hobbying, and so I really highly recommend checking it out. $1 Billion Clown Farm. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
it's honestly really good. We've been super excited to have you on the channel. We've been like talking on and off for like 2 years now. And we're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. Totally. We like see you at an event. We're like, soon, right? Like,
that's the most of life past the age of like 22. It's just like making plans that take 2 to 3 years to manifest.
I know.
Yeah, that's okay. I've accepted that.
Well, here's to hopefully not another 2 years before you come back on the channel.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
make it happen.
I'm around. Yeah, it's not that far. I'll come back. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. Well, with that, let's see. Do we have any questions before we head on out?
Yes, we do. We have from Mr. Emperor Bob. Thank you for the €10 super chat. I'm having good success tabling people with 10 players melee. Any pro 10th ed advice on delivery units with no invone to combat? Also, best Transformer movie. Opinions on bunnies.
Oh man,
this is great. What a great use of €10. Yeah, it's 3 questions for 10. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is
That's nice.
Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah.
So delivering units with no.
I have a lot more thoughts on the last 2 than the
I was gonna say
first one, but
2 of these are.
The first one feels like the one that was maybe most relevant.
I will say that they asked if they could ask a Transformers question, and knowing Adrian's general feeling towards Transformers, I suggested they did not. So.
And then they did it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it.
Oh man, that's.
So. With delivering units?
I think transports are huge for that. I mean that's why.
You're like Templars. You got your 5-up Fiona Pain on your big blob of Crusader Squad? That's the one, right?
Yeah.
The Super Friends. I have like 5 different unit profiles, so I'm not Death Watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and even the Sword Brethren, who are decent but still no invuln. I think Land Raiders are essential.
I mean, I think like it depends on the format. I would say like good player plays terrain is my one.
Ooh, yeah.
You want to always try and be defender, and you always try to put a big ruin in the middle.
Yep. So you can have somewhere that you can run from safety to safety and be ready to like launch these attacks. That's so.
And then always put ruins on the midfield as your first drops. Don't place one in your deployment zone. It's an easy to make rookie mistake. You just want to like, if you're a melee army, you want the biggest ruin in the middle, and then like another one like on an objective. As long as the middle has an objective, obviously. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And then place the ones in your deployment zone last.
That's very insightful.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks.
Best Transformers movie? Beast Wars. It was a great show.
It was a great trailer. I like that there's a big gorilla.
No. The TV show from like 2000, Beast Wars.
Okay.
Oh, look, you're missing out. You gotta check it out. It's great.
This feels like a good point in my life to get into Transformers. A 30-year-old man, toy hobby that destroys most of my life already. Just pick up Transformers without any nostalgic attachment to the franchise. Feels like a great move.
Look, we got some Magic Transformers for you.
They're
in that now.
There's a collectible game involved. Oh no, that might actually work. Oh no.
You're the first person that's ever said that about the Transformers Magic cards.
Yeah, I did remember those coming out and being like, that's not the immersion I want from this game.
It's so funny. Yeah. We'll be like, I won't get into the whole thing.
Walking Dead was a stretch. So I was like, I can't play modern with that. That was
another existential crisis. We talk about it for like Warhammer players, but that's the same thing for Magic players, where you're like, wow, like there's this guy from Georgia fighting my dragon.
Right.
I'm so upset by that. Why am I upset by that?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
Yeah. Phyrexian Obliterator blocks Optimus Prime. Doesn't feel good to say. Yeah. It's just
Shane has a deck that he has Optimus Prime working with like Reaver Titans and stuff.
That's kind of, if you put some Mirrodin stuff in there, that's kind of cute.
Yeah. It ties it together.
It's like, I think you can only play them with Mirrodin block cards.
Yeah.
That feels fair.
Then it's allowed.
Or like you can have Rick Graves from The Walking Dead. He might be banned in Modern. I don't know now. I thought he was at some point, but I'm kind of not super hot on Magic. I'm sorry, I'm spending a lot of time.
No, it's good.
This is what this segment is for.
Okay, cool.
Bunnies?
Bunnies, yeah.
I think,
I had a lot of rabbits growing up.
What?
My family just had like 1 million pets. We had rabbits that had more rabbits, and we capped a lot of them.
Yeah, that's
so like I really like
what they're known for.
Bunnies. Yeah, we had a lot of them.
So strange.
And they all died eventually, because that's how aging works. But they're really great to have, and it's sad that they're gone. Yeah. I have no rabbits now.
I had none to start with, and I would like to keep it that way.
They're good full lives, though.
Aren't they kind of stinky?
Like just normal bunny stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they smell. They're in the garage or outside.
Okay,
they
that's
like
the way
it
to do
there.
it.
So
They like it there.
well, maybe not the garage, but they liked outside. And the garage was fine. I don't know. They had like a big hutch and stuff. We did a nice job. Yeah.
Adrian grew up French, so he ate them.
Rabbits are for eating. They're not pets.
Oh, never mind. Cool. Yeah. Different sides of the rabbit debate. Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
expect
I was
that.
in like 4-H and stuff as a kid.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. Remember they always had like a meat buddy category?
Yeah.
Because you could like take your rabbits to kitchen. I was like, that doesn't feel good.
No.
As an 11-year-old, yeah. Yeah.
The trauma's real.
Pro bunnies, yeah.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much, Mr. Emperor Bob.
Thanks,
That's
Bob.
all the super chats we have today. We were able to.
Oh, cool.
get
I'm glad we
all
spent
the-
so long on that one. All right, nice.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
damn, I should
So-
go back to talking about Transformer magic.
I'll give one more call out. If you have any other questions, let us know.
Oh my God, Siri just looked up Transformers.
Oh, yeah, please do.
I like how it has like the logo.
That's-
like
yeah,
the,
that's crazy.
The graphic.
Yeah.
Why? Of all the things.
It's kind of
before-
harrowing to have the, I don't know, something about seeing a Transformers font instead of just like.
Yeah,
text
I'm
feels
not.
weird
I'm not
and,
comfortable
yeah.
at all right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today's been a really, really orky day.
Yeah, I would say so.
I would
yeah.
say so,
It's very
100%.
orky. Yeah.
I do want to give a couple shout outs, of course. We have some fun stuff coming on next week. As we were mentioning earlier, the game is kind of in a weird place right now. We're kind of yet again in a holding position coming up on some of the biggest tournaments of the season. Ironically, Nova. You're going to be at Nova.
Yeah,
We're going to be at Nova.
My Stompa and Gargantuan Square.
Yeah.
And they're going to win the whole event. If they don't, I'm going to be really mad. It's
gonna be shocking.
I'm going to make a huge scene
Are
if I
you-
don't go 9-0 with my square.
Well, at least you can get a video out of it.
Yeah.
Just like the complete outrage video.
Yeah.
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 should
It's
do
going
it.
to be a really bad time for me and my opponent. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Do we think Adrian's gonna end up with a ticket?
A ticket? Oh my God!
ticket.
Yeah.
Because
there's
That was
12
like 3
left.
hours ago.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah.
It's
All right. No, we're good.
Yeah, I
you-
don't have any. No, we're good.
They usually do release some more, like right towards the end.
Yeah. I'll show up day one because
Yeah.
I have like a hotel and everything, and I'll just wander around. If not,
Yeah.
like a lost.
Just pretend you're trying to get a job in the 1940s. Just walk straight into
Yeah.
their office and be like, I demand a ticket. And they'd be like, you got a lot of confidence, like your gusto. Kid.
Yeah.
Like here's your BCP. token."
The worst part is like they'd be like, you really you do this? Like you've had people reminding you to get a ticket for forever. Like,
Dude, so embarrassing. Last LVO, I like forgot to sign. I forgot to register when I got in.
Yeah.
And so I show up like as the first round is about to start, and I'm like boop 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 boop, and then like everyone's already got pairings and everything, and I'm like
I make
I'm
that
not
noise
on the
pretty
app
good,
at
too.
all.
Yeah.
And then I just like find Reese, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm so sorry." So I know pairing, so I had to be part of like the 20 of us that just didn't sign up at all, and they walked us to the like the GW style terrain tables, and like you're playing on this, and I was like, oh.
I love it. There's like a shame pool.
Yeah, we literally had to
People-
like march like little
call
ducklings
20,
out of it, and we like saw
yeah.
people like, "Oh, where you guys going?" And I'm like, "Don't talk to me."
That's
And then we were
awesome.
playing our game, and Duncan Rhodes comes over, and he's like, "Oh," he's like ready to interview.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
"Are you
yeah.
playing in the friendly?" It was like the friendly in that
yeah.
room, and we're like, "Oh no, we're the losers playing in the competitive." And then he's like, "Oh," and he's like packs up his stuff and leaves. Like, no interview from you.
It's so funny.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we double missed out that day. That was rough.
Friendlies is probably where it's at. Narrative is probably where it's actually at.
Narrative is cool. The one thing I don't love about the narrative is the last day. You play a massive 4v4 that lasts the whole day.
Oh, sure.
And that's like a special sort of Warhammer
Yeah,
hell.
yeah.
Where
I
it's
guess-
like 3-hour turns.
Yeah.
Like-
I was, I guess, imagining the concept of narrative as opposed to
I love the concept of
execution.
narrative.
Yeah.
You should come up
'cause-
for our narrative event here by our local narrative club once a year.
That'd
We
be fun.
played in it. It
Yeah, I'd
was-
love to do that.
It was so
Yeah.
much fun. It was
Yeah,
really cool.
the one in New Mexico was sick. I went to that.
Yeah, it was very
That
much
a really
like
good time.
in that same vein.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, that one was awesome. I have heard that about the cursed 4-person game.
I just
I
if it
heard a
wasn't
lot
for
of complaints about, and I forgot until now. Yeah,
It's like that in Apocalypse games. Like they sound so cool. They're great to talk about afterwards. But like actually doing them and setting up is just like the worst.
Love to do nothing, even more nothing.
It's like
than I
work.
normally do in Warhammer,
Yeah.
watching your opponent.
That's my
Yeah.
only complaint about
Yeah.
it. But anyways, lots of stuff coming up. Don't forget next Saturday we're actually going to be traveling. So we know Saturday's show, but we'll still have Tuesday. We'll have Thursday. We're going to do a chat play. It's going to be a ton of fun. So definitely join us there. And also, of course, check out $1 Billion Clown Farm on YouTube.
Yeah.
See this beautiful face more often. Tyler, thank you again so much for
Yeah,
coming on
thanks
the
for
show.
having me. This is awesome.
We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah. No, this is a sick time. This was the same weekend as a major, and I'm very glad I've skipped it to be here.
We got you out of it.
Don't need any more majors. Thank God there's something else going on. Yeah. All right, sick.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Our pleasure. Absolutely.
Thanks for running the stream, too.
Thanks, Mal. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Look, that's going to do it for us. We'll catch y'all next time
on
the tabletop.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.